Hello, Tom Lemecki here with the latest edition of the New Theory podcast. Today, we got a very special guest, Paul Alex. I love this guy's story. He previously worked in law enforcement, turned entrepreneur. His experience in sales and digital marketing. He's great at the whole funnel thing. We'll get into that. He founded ATMT, which is an automated service to help clients establish their first ATM locations. ATM is a burgeoning business. We know the fees associated with that. It's good to be on the right side of that. He helped over 24,000 entrepreneurs nationwide. The guy's a gamer. Love this guy. Paul Alex, welcome to the New Theory podcast. How you doing today?
I'm doing well, Tom. How about yourself, man?
I'm well. So what type of law enforcement were you in?
I was a street cop. I was a beat cop. So I was originally from San Francisco, California, the Bay Area. I was in one of the agencies in the Bay Area. Can't name it, conflict of interest and all that jazz. But ultimately, you could say it was one of the most dangerous cities in the United States. So
Got it. Now you worked in law enforcement. You obviously did that for a reason. I get people reach out all the time for this podcast, my other podcast, and it's hey, I'm a cop. I got guys on the other side of the law that were ex-convicts and maybe have restrictions. But I just meet a lot of people that are kind of like doing their day-to-day now, but it's not what they want to do. And I have some formulas and thoughts on that. Did you kind of start your side hustle while you were a cop, or did you have a clean break and then start AMTM?
No,
sorry.
Yeah. So ATM Together. Actually, it started with one ATM. So basically, let me give you the short summary of my backstory for for everyone who's listening to the podcast right now or watching this on YouTube. Yeah. My name is Paul Alex. Basically, I am originally from the Bay Area, guys. 9-to-5er, but I've been an entrepreneur for more than a decade. With that being said, I was able to go ahead and actually start a side hustle while I was working as a detective in law enforcement. I'm talking about I was working anywhere between 60 to 100 hours a week, guys. 60 to 100 hours a week. We're talking about straight blood money, okay? Yeah. And the reason why, because if any of you guys are from California right now, anyone listening in California, inflation is through the roof, not only through Cali, but throughout the United States. But California is one of the most expensive states to live in. Correct. So with that being said, even if you're making $100,000, you're still considered low income. Yeah. I mean, that's just the way it is. Correct. At the time I was paying rent. My rent was almost $4,000. And that was just to be at a reasonable neighborhood. Okay. Because right now, real estate is through the roof everywhere. Right. I mean, you got all the Californians that exited through California. They ended up going to Florida, Texas, and everywhere else raised up rent and the mortgages like crazy throughout the states. So everybody knows what I'm talking about. But with that being said, I started with one ATM on the weekends, expanded to 30 ATMs, build my tangible business.
Ooh, hold on out of your gloves. Yeah. Some big stuff. I want one ATM. What are the economics on it? What is the cost? What is a monthly flow and margin? And when do I get my money back?
No, absolutely. So anybody who's trying to start within the ATM industry, okay, you as an independent deployer, we're going to talk ATM industry jargon right now, okay? You could go ahead and actually buy straight from the manufacturer, or you could go through an ISO, okay? Independent sales organization, just like ATM Together. Yeah. You could come to us and ultimately just buy yourself an ATM. ATMs roughly run around $2,300 right now. Okay. With inflation.
For the sake of discussion, I put out $2,500. And then what do I do? Do I knock on the door of a high traffic area, 7-Eleven? What do I do next?
Yep. Yeah. Basically, just do your research. To me, as an entrepreneur, as me going from the 9-to-5, starting as no one, I still consider myself no one. I'm no one special. At the end of the day, the only reason why I'm where I'm at right now, running multiple businesses, being able to generate millions of dollars, was because I started with a side hustle, which was the ATMs. So self-education is key here, okay? What I would recommend is for anyone right now interested in what I'm talking about as far as ATMs to generate yourself some assets to make your money work for you, then ultimately go on Amazon, buy a book, start self-educating yourself. I hold live trainings inside of my Facebook group, ATM Business for Beginners. Right now, we're currently at 30,000 members within less than 2 years. at the end of the day, man, it all started with a book. I know it sounds cliche,
Hold on.
but
I'm obsessed with your story, but I have ADD. I'm 3 years old, buddy. I buy a machine for 2,300. I buy a machine for 2,500. I get a guy who owns a local motel, puts it in for me. Walk me
yep,
through. I set the fees at, I'm making this up, $2.95. Let's call it $3 per transaction. What do I keep? What do I give the place? What does the bank take?
absolutely. So
Sorry to be a
with
pain.
that,
I'm just so focused in on the economics.
it's all good, brother. So let's talk numbers, okay? So great example you just gave me. You put a ATM at a motel. Let's say the motel it is cash driven,
Yeah,
meaning that let's say it's
correct.
like a Motel 6, they only take cash, right? So at the end of the day, you have that incentive to put that ATM there. That's number one thing that I would tell anybody
So the
that's
research,
going to
the
prospect.
research,
Correct.
and I didn't mean to gloss over that. The research is critical. Don't just put it at a 7-Eleven assuming it's going to go, because who knows? They might have their payback program, they might have their own cash. So a place that is conducive to cash. Got it. Okay.
Absolutely. And that's the first mistake I made in my journey, because at the end of the day, I didn't self educate myself when I got into the business. Before I was in law enforcement, I was doing 6 years as a sales manager at corporate America.
Oh
So at the
wow.
end of the day, I had a little chip on my shoulder. I thought I knew it all, man. But at the end of the day, you're not going to know everything, right? What you don't know is what you don't know.
Got it.
So with that, I go ahead and look for locations that are cash driven. If you walk into any location, Tom, and you say to yourself within 30 seconds, okay, would an ATM place be good here? Would an ATM generate me revenue here? And you have that good gut feeling, then yes, do it. Because at the end of the day, what you're buying is an asset. I think of
I'd
ATMs.
also, Paul, I'll go one step further. I'm like a lazy
Yeah.
guy. I'd piggyback off of people who did the research, find the
Mhm.
local Starbucks. So they did the research on traffic, and maybe go around that area to find places for for an ATM. Cool. Okay, walk us through the economics. $3 fee, boom, each. Walk us through the economics.
Yeah, so absolutely. So one, I would always tell anybody who is new, don't off the bat offer a percentage of your surcharge to the owner
It
because at
might
the
be a
end of the
convenience.
day,
Got it. Might be a convenience. Got it. Okay.
because at the end of the day, it's a convenience. So you're actually helping the merchant, your client, your future client, build the traffic by keeping the traffic inside the store,
Got it.
especially if they have an incentive for the cash, right? So if you look at credit card machines, merchant services, right? They're charging a percentage. Why do you think some locations don't accept Amex? Because Amex has some of the highest fees for their credit cards, right? So at the end of the day, whenever you go to a gas station, let's say in a low income neighborhood, and they ask you, hey, you have to pay a minimum of $5 in product. The reason why they do that is because they're going to lose profitability in their margins
Correct.
because they're using the credit cards, right? So you go in there, you tell them, look, how much are you paying the merchant services? Let's say they're like, okay, we pay 2% for every product that we do. At the end of the month, they end up paying $1,500 on fees to that merchant services. Well, you tell that owner, you tell that merchant, well, what if I could save you $1,500 if you convert to cash only and I put a nice brand new ATM inside of your business?
There's also a newer trend in the restaurant business that
Mhm.
that I don't know if you ever noticed. You go to a place, sometimes they're ethical about it, sometimes they're not, and they charge you a $4 surcharge
Yeah.
for using your credit card. And what they're
Mhm.
doing is they're getting 100% of the fee, but the customer is paying for the MCA, the merchant cash
Yep.
fee. So for me, I'm the kind of guy like I get even if it's like even, I don't like that kind of stuff. It's nickel and diming to me. So
Yeah.
I would go to an ATM, and if it works out, I'll take out $100, and I might save a dollar. Not cheap, it's
Yeah.
principle. Got okay. So now we get it. So we put it 2,300. We find the research right. We're gonna go with the scenario that the guy is a forward thinker and is like, all right, put it in for free. It helps me. Okay, I'm with you. So with $3 per
Absolutely.
fee, how much goes to the house? How much do you get?
So he's a forward thinker. Let's say you're going to give him a percentage or whatnot. If
No, yeah. So
you're,
we're gonna go through two scenarios. One scenario is, you know what, Paul, you're a good guy. You're ex cop. I'm gonna tell people the machine's down. And I'm just gonna drive people to pay cash. I'm gonna put it right here. Don't worry about it. I don't need money from it. I don't need like I have a motel. I do $1 million a year. I don't need your $400 a month. Just
yeah.
I'll push people for it. Okay. So I'm with you on that. Okay. Now. So he doesn't get any money. do I keep all $3 or there's a transaction fee or fees associated with my $3?
So great question. Typically, depending on who you go with, and this is where I tell people to be very careful. A couple of golden nuggets that I will tell you. When I first started, there's a processing network. So the ATMs, they actually need the network in order to function. This is what facilitates the transactions between the ATM and all that jazz, right? For all the listeners or the viewers that are watching this that are not educated in the ATM industry. So, because trust me, I get asked this number one question all the time. So they're like, what's processing network? So it is the actual network they need in order to function at all. So with that being said, majority of companies out there in the ATM industry, all the OG veterans, they usually charge a percentage for this. And we're talking about they'll charge 30 cents per transaction. Me being new, I'm coming in here like, okay, that sounds good to me because I don't know any better. Yeah. So they're already taking a percentage off top before you even put your ATM inside of the business. And then on top of that, they have you sign an 18-pager service agreement saying that if you leave within 3 to 5 years, guess what? You have to pay the tab. That's exactly what happened to me. My first year, I went with a large ATM corporation. I ended up buying 6 ATMs off the bat.
Sounds high because so if I have a $3 fee and they're going to take 10% of every one,
yeah,
I need like 3,000 transactions to make my money back and an acceptable profit, and that's a lot of transactions. So that sounds kind of high. So they take a transaction fee. What are the rate? We're gonna. I don't want to give too much away because I want to drive people to your course that are interested. But give us the range. Is it 0 to 30 cents? What are the ranges on the fees?
So the fees it's typically 0 to 30 cents. That's typically what I've seen. Now, when you say 3,000, okay, that typically you will see that in, let's say, dispensaries, for example, in California. Very popular. They're cash driven right now by law. It's still federal law that, marijuana is illegal and all that jazz. So the banks, they're not messing with dispensaries. But with that being said, any given time, I'm going to tell you this right now. I have liquor stores that are generating me $1,500 net.
Wow.
And I give $800 to the owner as his percentage. So he gets about 25%. So with that, traffic is roughly anywhere between 300 to 500 transactions per month. And this is a 24/7 liquor store that has lottery tickets.
1,500 comes out of your end, or are you making 2,300 and giving them 800, or are you making 15?
Correct. Okay. So when you see the value of that, you got to compare that to real estate. Okay. What is the upfront cost? Because here's the thing, and I'm going to be very transparent with you, Tom, and the listeners here, is that if anybody is to think they're going to get rich off of one ATM, they are out of their mind.
You need to reach economies of scale, and we'll get to that. Okay.
Yeah.
Now I get it. I put out 2,500. I find a good location. I negotiate the fees. I sign up for your course, get some good stuff out of it. So I'm with all of that right now. Who stocks the cash? Does the network stock the cash, or do you?
No, it's actually you. It's actually you. So you need operating expenses to go ahead and actually run your business. But the great part about this, okay, and this is where a lot of people get confused, right? Because they're thinking ATM. Wow, you can put thousands upon thousands of dollars inside of that ATM. No,
starting balance?
You actually don't. When you first start off, I always tell people to start off with $1,000 to $3,000 their first month. Okay, now they're going to be able to determine after the first month how much money they're truly going to need. These ATMs, they hold up to $20,000 when it's $20 denominations. Okay, you can change the denominations. You can change the denominations to 5, 10, 20.
You get a ping when you're low. Hey, buddy, you're down to $50. Go, or you just got to guesstimate.
Brother, it is 2022. You could run your entire business on your phone. Okay, so we got the great applications. We use Switch Commerce Network, one of the best processing networks out there. So my company, ATM Together, what we do is we don't sell a course. Okay, we provide the information for free. What we do is we actually provide services. This is what the game changer was when I came into the industry, because ATM Together, I first built my business. The reason why I first built my business is because, one, I'm old school. I'm 34, man. At the end of the day, I wasn't even on social media for 6 to 7 years. So I didn't know none of this. I didn't know about the podcast. I didn't know about consulting. I didn't know about digital marketing, social media. What people have right now on their computers is insane to me. They have so much gold, so much value right now to take advantage of for free. And that's exactly what I do. Inside of my Facebook group, the reason why we've been able to scale within a year and a half, Tom, is because simply I provide so much training for free. I give out free mini course, I give free out guides,
Yeah, you're smart. You're
training.
smart. You eat the egg. You eat the eggs, not the chicken. You give a lot of value. They sign up for your course. Now, do I get the machines through you, or do you recommend a vendor through that?
So, one-stop shop. ATMtogether.com is a one-stop shop. Basically, what we do is we set you up with absolutely everything and we automate it for you. So we basically take the concept of, let's say, if I was back as a detective, 60 to 100 hours a week, what am I going to do? I got kids, I got a wife. I'm not trying to build a business right now, even though that's my dream, right? And for a lot of Americans out there right now, for a lot of people that work the 9 to 5, they just don't have the energy. I get it. That's the reason why I built a side hustle in my late 20s, because at the end of the day, I realized in my late 20s, hey, this is not sustainable, man. I'm not going to last another 30 plus years doing this. I got lower back problems. Like, I'm 80 years old, brother. It's crazy. So at the end of the day, we automate the service for every single one of our clients. We provide you with a brand new ATM. We
Wait, real
show
quick.
you.
Yeah, keep going, Paul. Sorry.
It's all good. So we provide you with a brand new ATM. We help you program it, install it. I have techs in-house that actually do live Zoom calls one-on-one with you. At the end of the day, we provide you with all the networks, the internet. And check this out. This is the game changer right here. And this is why you could say that we were able to scale so fast. We have a call center. So we actually do the prospecting for you. We find your locations nationwide. We have over 1,100 clients nationwide since January of 2021 enrolled into our automation services.
Okay, so hold on. So I'm interested. I'm going to park 3,000 to the side for cash on hand. I'm going to park 2,500 for a machine. What's your rough? Are you a SaaS model? Do I pay you a monthly? Are you a percentage of the revenue? Are you upfront $5,000? What's your fee structure roughly? You give ranges. I know it probably varies.
No, absolutely. And great question, by the way, Tom. We are upfront cost.
Yeah.
Upfront cost, transparency. We tell people, look, the amount of time that it takes us to actually invest into building this program, to paying sure that we pay our employees right, so the quality of service does not go down. You're looking at anywhere between a $6,000 to $9,000 investment, depending on the services that you want. Because not everybody is going to need a location for their business. There might be somebody right now listening to this podcast or watching us on YouTube saying, man, I got the perfect location. I just want to learn from Paul and his team, and I want to get an ATM. All they got to do is just come, hop on an informational call. My guys are not salesy.
But if I give I'll keep it simple. If I give you 9K, is the machine included or the machine's on top?
The machine's included.
Oh shit.
Location's included.
Oh shit.
Everything's included.
Now, when I get multiple locations and I use you for that, additional fee or is that included?
I love your questions, brother. So the great part about this, okay, that one upfront fee, that's one time. Then you guys get everything at cost because you're a member, because you're trained from us, meaning that you're not gonna be required a lot of work. It's like taking off the training wheels. Yeah. It's like you going through like police academy and graduating and saying, here's your badge and gun, you know? So at the end of the day, you are a fully fledged entrepreneur. Even if you never knew how to run a business, we will teach you.
Well, you know what I like about this, Paul, is okay. So for those watching, and if you're interested, we'll put the link below. I don't know if Paul heard of this, and if you have, forgive me. But people watching, listening, dummy tax, right? I can reasonably buy a $350,000 Ferrari tomorrow, get the keys, and push it into the Hudson River. Not even start it, just put in neutral with the Tiptronics and push in the Hudson River, and it'll be less than the mistakes I made financially over my business career. I would have rather done that than make the mistakes that I made. I'm being serious. So you basically there will be dummy tax. but you're going to minimize the dummy tax. Basically, 10K gets me started, get some support. If I need some support, I get stuff at cost. I love this. Actually, I did some research on you. It's actually a little bit more robust than I thought. I thought it was going to be a little bit more programmy, like, hey, send up my program. No, you help get shit done. Um, for those watching though, can you lease machines or you got to buy them?
So you can always lease machines, and I'm very transparent. I'm going to tell everybody this right now, since we're on the podcast, we're talking, Tom, is there are several companies out there. What makes us different is our brand. Okay, I stand behind it. Even as the founder, okay, what I tell people is I'm in the trenches, man. I will still talk to my clients. You hit me up on Facebook, you hit me up on IG. I even give out my phone number. There are clients that fly into San Diego, where I'm stationed at right now, and say, "Hey, Paul, I'm in town. Can you grab some lunch? I just want to talk to you real quick." Yeah, let's do it. This is my schedule. Book a time, and let's rock. I'll meet you over there. That's just the way I roll. It's good business. It's old school.
When do you? I know it's not easy to answer because it matters by market. It matters by there's so many variables. But when do you start to hit economies of scale? Is it 3 units, 5 units, 10? Like when do you really start seeing it sink to the bottom line?
I have clients. I'm gonna give you a great example. I have one client, truck driver, 23 years old, brand new, a baby born girl. Last year started with us. He's 13 months into the business. Has 5 locations that we found him. Okay, in Texas. Kid is making $4,300 in residual passive income from his business. That's separate from what he's doing as a truck driver. The kid, for his birthday this year, bought a Hellcat Charger. And I was laughing because I was like, to be honest, man, if I was 23, I'd probably do the same thing. We all make our mistakes. At the end of the day, I'm a cars guy. And I told him, hey, man, it's your money. I wouldn't suggest to do that. I would suggest to actually scale your business because you're making a good amount now.
Yeah. And
then I have other clients that have 2-3 locations, and they're netting $1,000 each location. And then I have other clients. The average our clients are making within our company is anywhere between $200 to $1,000.
Yeah,
okay?
I would
on
say
average.
Yeah, I would say it's a blocking and tackling game.
Mm-hmm.
Like you have one machine expect to make 200-300, the next one 500. Now, when do you know how much time do you give an unprofitable location? Like let's say you give 3 months, 6 months. Like let's say you put a machine in and it's either underwater or making only a few $100, so it's not worth it. How much time do you give for an unprofitable location typically?
Great question. 3 to 5 months. So typically 3 months is the minimum because all the locations that we provide, okay? And even if somebody's out there prospecting by themselves and they just found their own location, they're excited about it, give it at least 3 months because if it's a new location, people still need to figure out that there's an actual ATM. And then also communicating and helping the business owner, help them promote it. Social media is huge right now. It's giving small business owner like myself, like all my clients, like you, like a voice. So you're exposed to thousands, millions of people out there. So use it, guys. Use your social media platform to expand your business. It's the best opportunity you will ever have in life.
I love it. Okay, so we have I have another podcast. I'm going to talk to you about it afterwards. But for this podcast, it's a little bit more audio than video. So some people are driving or they're working out. I'm going to put a link below on the iTunes and the YouTube. But do me a favor. Can you share how to find you like ASAP, Paul?
Yeah, absolutely. Fastest, easiest way, IG, Instagram, guys, the Paul Alex. Okay. And then check out the main company website, www.atmtogether.com. atmtogether.com, guys.
Love it. I call it ATMT, but ATM Together sounds even better. Below, check it out. Paul, I have high expectations. I'm going to put the link below. I'm going to promote this for you. I might even look into it myself. And I appreciate you being on the New Theory podcast, brother.
Thanks, brother.